Expect more. This is Channel 6 News Weekend.
A tornado rips through the town of Franklin, leaving homes and businesses damaged and debris scattered throughout the roads. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Imani Payne. Franklin and Robertson County officials say thankfully there were no fatalities as a result of today's tornado. There were several injuries, but none of the injuries were major. The Sheriff's Department says many people had to be pulled from their homes and businesses after the tornado passed through. The city judge says the entire south side of Franklin was destroyed. Unfortunately, several people are homeless now, but the city is taking donations at the United Methodist Church. The youth center at that church is serving as a shelter for those left without a place to live. Now the cleanup and recovery process begins now for those living in Franklin, many left with nothing more than the clothes on their backs. Channel 6 News reporter Jasmine Caldwell was on the ground shortly after the tornado hit. She's live in the middle of that damage with the very latest. Jasmine.
Well, Imani, destruction and devastation is all around me. Take a look as we take a walk down the 500 block of Park Street. As you can see over here, a roof is off of this trailer home. And we're going to walk a little bit further down the street. You can see some down power lines. And if you could take a look up here, you can see a piece of a roof tangled up in those power lines. So many people that I spoke to today say they are just devastated by all of this. The tornado hit this morning, but most of the attention now has gone towards those cleanup efforts. Now, all day, there have been so many EMS and emergency management crews here in Franklin. Although no one died, the Robertson County Sheriff said there were about 7 or 8 injuries. There was a medical staging area at the Franklin United Methodist Church. Franklin Baptist Church is open for people who are homeless. Officials say the south side of Franklin is totally destroyed.
It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. You do what you can. We've walked in here to see if we could help anybody, you know, do anything. And now we're stuck on this side of town. We can't even go back to our house right now because the power lines and stuff are down and they're clearing out the power lines and the debris and everything before we're able to go home to make sure it's safe for everybody.
Now, there's a mandatory curfew for residents that start at 8 o'clock tonight. That curfew is lifted at 7 o'clock in the morning. Nearly the entire city is without power, but crews say they are working to get that power turned on, and it may take up to until 24 hours for these residents here in Franklin to have their power back. Reporting live in Franklin, Jasmine Caldwell, Channel 6 News.
All right, thank you, Jasmine. Stay safe out there. Now, videos and pictures of the storm damage have started to flood in across social media. This is a look at some of the devastation from the eyes of the Robertson County Tower Cam. We know the video may be a little tough to see, but you can't help but notice the widespread damage across that area. Many of the buildings in that town, as you can see, are just completely wiped out. Now, to find more pictures and the latest updates, just download the KCEN app in your app store. And storms across Texas have left behind devastation as well. 2 tornadoes hit near Alto, Texas within 90 minutes of each other. We also know 2 children ages 3 and 8 were killed when a tree fell on their vehicle they were traveling in Angelina, Texas. A devastating picture here. We do know that the parents did survive. And as those images started to pop up on social media, there were also some stories that frightened a lot of people. One in particular, that a tiger was on the loose in Franklin. And this picture making the rounds on social media of a tornado also got people talking, but is any of it true? Our own Curtis Quillen set out to verify. Curtis.
Well, hi, Imani. The post we showed you earlier was going around on Facebook claiming the tiger enclosure at the Franklin drive-thru safari had been damaged by the tornado that Jasmine just told you about. Here's another look at that post. It has since been deleted from Facebook. We called the safari directly. They tell us they don't even have tigers because it is a petting zoo, so we can go ahead and verify that this one is false. Another post going around on Twitter was this picture showing a rather large twister, claiming it was a picture of the Franklin tornado. The National Weather Service Fort Worth office later tweeted, "This is not a picture of that tornado," stating spotters reported it was entirely rain wrapped. The tweet continued to say, "The pictures appear to show a reflection of a white object on the dashboard, a little more visible on the right side of your screen at where the tornado should be, so we can also verify that picture is false as well. Now, if you have something you'd like us to verify, send us an email at verify@kcentv.com or reach out to us on Facebook. Imani?
All right, thanks, Curtis. One thing we can also verify is that the storm brought bad news for some Franklin High School students. Fairfield ISD tweeted, due to the devastation of the tornado in Franklin, the district is postponing tonight's prom. They also sent prayers to everyone affected by this tragedy. Now we want to get right over to meteorologist Bill Hecky, who is standing by in our weather center with the very latest. Bill.
Well, hello there, Imani. We are seeing a lot of clouds, but they are a lower cloud deck. There's not a lot of vertical development on them, and you still can get a little precipitation to our northwest. The winds are up and gusty from the northwest. We're advecting in cool air, which kind of stabilizes the atmosphere. A dome of high pressure is building in. The circulation around the dome is clockwise and down, so that means our activity is on the decline. So overnight tonight, we're going to gradually chill out. We'll have more coming your way in just a little bit. Imani.
All right, thanks, Bill. A memorial for the 15 people killed in the West Fertilizer plant explosion 6 years ago was revealed this morning. The memorial has been in the works for about 2.5 years across from the city park. It shares the story of what happened and each person who died that evening. Governor Greg Abbott was at this morning's dedication and says the way West has come together since the tragedy is remarkable.
It never ceases to amaze me to see the resilience of this community, the way this community has responded to one of the most horrific tragedies to ever hit the state of Texas.
And we'll have much more from this morning's dedication coming up tonight at 10. Still to come on Channel 6 News at 6, family and friends say their final goodbyes to a Killeen Elementary student whose life was taken too soon by meningitis. Plus the latest on the condition of a Rockdale firefighter who was hit by a drunk driver last night. Those stories next. Stick with us. Welcome back. The KISD student who died of bacterial meningitis was laid to rest this afternoon. 8-year-old DeMonte Rayford was surrounded by friends and family during his homegoing service at the Epic Church in Killeen. Loved ones shared memories of the young boy who had big dreams of becoming a firefighter one day. There were also songs and prayers. The family has asked people to send stuffed animals and fire trucks instead of flowers to surround DeMonte. For a link to the family's GoFundMe, visit kcentv.com. Killeen police are investigating after receiving reports of 2 adults assaulting children outside of an elementary school earlier this week. Officers say 2 boys were walking near Bel Air Elementary when 2 adults hopped out of a black car and allegedly started assaulting them. The adults then took off. Police are still gathering details about a possible motive and the boys' condition following the attack. Anyone with information is asked to contact Killeen police. A Rockdale volunteer firefighter is recovering in the hospital after being hit by a suspected drunk driver. It happened late last night. The fire department says Lieutenant John Villarreal was backing into his driveway when he was hit by another car. First responders removed the lieutenant from his car and rushed him to the hospital in unknown condition. The woman that hit Villarreal was arrested by Rockdale police. She's facing a charge of suspicion of driving while intoxicated. Coming up next, we have the latest on power outages across the area, and meteorologist Bill Hecky will join us with a look at the remainder of your weekend. Welcome back. Now, before we get to our forecast, we do want to give you an update on power outages around our area. Right now, we know that there are 40 outages in Killeen. We're also seeing 50 outages in the Temple area. We're actually unable to show you that map right now due to the power outage in this area. So far, there's no timetable as to when that power is going to be restored, but once we get that information, we'll go ahead and bring it to you on our website. That's kcentv.com. Now let's go ahead and send it over to Bill Hecky for a check of the weather. Hey, Bill. Welcome back. The cleanup and recovery process begins now for those living in Franklin, many left with nothing more than the clothes on their backs. We want to check back in with Channel 6 News reporter Jasmine Caldwell, who was on the ground shortly after the tornado hit. She's live in the middle of that damage with the very latest. Jasmine.
Well, Imani, the people I spoke to today said the wind was just so strong and powerful when it ripped through the town of Franklin today. Take a look at some of the damage that was caused. We are just in someone's backyard. You can see over there, trees are knocked down. That was a homeowner's shed that's flipped over. Just face down, and we're going to swing the camera over here this way. The cleanup efforts is